Welcome back to another episode of the Almost Passive Income Podcast. We're going to jump into it because some of you guys didn't like our long intro I last time. Fuck you, I don't care. We're going to bleep out that F word. What's up, guys? Today we are talking about...
Let's hear about the worst advice you see in email marketing right now.
Okay. I would say worst email advice. One of them has to be all image emails. Sending these like image heavy, like basically for e-com companies that are doing like t-shirts or, unbreakable dildos or whatever they're selling. They've got a picture of the thing, or the entire email is essentially image. So I consulted for this one. I wrote some emails for them. This company is doing about $100 million a year, doing washing machine sheets, selling these little sheets that
like dryer sheets.
They're not dryer sheets. They wash your clothes, but they're sheets. So instead of using like laundry detergent that has a bunch of chemicals and contaminants, and then also is in that heavy jug. Apparently that's a thing for like older ladies. They can't. It's like a 25-pound, 40-pound jug sometimes. These things, and then all of the bottles end up in landfills. So that was some of their hooks and stuff. But so I wrote them some emails, crushed what they were doing, and what I did. So if you have an e-com company, images aren't necessarily bad, but they should be secondary to having some sort of a lift note, is what I call it. So like 50 to 100 words to set up the thing. So you can set a picture of the thing, but you have 50 to 100 words that have a hook or something to entice the people into why they should then click the thing. Because people literally just send like summer sales in a big picture with like 20% off of fucking grass growing green stuff. And instead of having like, did you know that the reason your grass isn't growing is because you're not using seeds that are from the actual area that you live in? That's why we custom create grass that is designed for the actual climate that you live in. And then you go, here's the thing. So it's like basically, did you know, or giving some sort of just unique hook that then brings them into the thing rather than just, here's, because also the deliverability is worse with those big image heavy emails. And then people will say, this is actually a question I think on, somebody asked me online, was like HTML or plain text. So your emails should be HTML. They should not be plain text. It's not 1995. Like, they shouldn't be an actual plain text, but they should be HTML that looks like plain text. So the email should look like an email you'd get from your mom or an old person who doesn't know how to email. Like, it should look like if I'm sending you a direct email, that's what it should look like. So like, one of the worst things is like, and I'm just gonna keep talking, you're gonna just sit here looking like you're kidnapped. Right. One of the funniest things, one of these clips, it just looks like Shama's eyes are moving. It looks like I've like forced him to be here against his will. So I would say one of the worst pieces of advice is that, first off, this concept of like B2B is not different than B2C. People are like, I do B2B though, it's different than B2C. It's very little difference, because who runs companies? People. It's humans. You're still talking to people, and people think, oh, this is a business owner, I need to be different with them. I hang out with the business owners. They still drink, they still talk like normal people, they like jokes, they like that. Nobody wants to be bored. So this idea of these corporate mayo sounding emails where it's like, I have to be professional. Now, if your job is, if you're selling medical devices that help diabetic people, maybe be professional, right? But you don't have to be this overly professional person. For me, I oppose all of that on purpose. But so don't be boring, don't write corporate speak, don't talk about synergy, don't circle back, don't gently nudge you, don't do all the fucking annoying corporate speak. Right. And then make your emails, one of the best ways to like learn how to write great subject lines is to look at the subject lines your friends send you. Like, if you ever get emails from people who are actually people you know, they're like, yo, check this out, or what up, or something. Like, sometimes using those that like are actually a thing they'd send. Funny story is, so last night I ran into Nathan Barry, who owns Kit, one of the biggest, email service providers. He lives here in Boise. I was at this dinner thing, and I got an email from him a few weeks ago, and it was like, hey, are you coming to Crafting Commerce this year, his event? And I was like, oh, he's asking me if I'm coming personally.
It was a blast.
I'm like, oh, and then CJ was like, he was like, oh, I think my assistant was going through my email. He's like, I think this is like a marketing email. Like, he didn't just send this to you. And I was like, oh, he almost got me, dude. And I was like, I'm not responding. I'm not falling for this. I know what this is. But it was such a good, like, 9-word email. It was literally like, hey, man, are you coming to Crafting Commerce this year? And I didn't respond. Saw him last night, and I was like, hey, was that a marketing? I was like, no, I sent that to you.
Oh, nice.
So he was like, now, I will be honest, I looked through the list of people who had come last year and who didn't sign up, and I just looked at the ones I knew, and there were like 15 people I knew personally. So technically, I sent it to a few, but I sent it directly to you in my Gmail, was like, hey man, are you coming this year? And I was like, now I'm the dick, and I didn't respond. So like, that's only funny because I thought it was so good that I almost fell for it. So like, great marketing doesn't feel like marketing. Great marketing feels like how you want to be talked to and natural and normal. So like, if you can send emails, some of those are the best you'll ever send, like, hey, are you still interested in losing weight? Like literally, if you have a dead list, that's one of the simplest things. Hey, do you still want to learn how to get paid to write emails for other people? We sent that the other day to our list and got great response and made money from literally just like a dead list of people that we hadn't sent to in forever. So yeah, I'd say other worst advice. What's your worst stuff you've seen?
I think, it's funny, most of my background is B2B, so it's a lot of that corporate mail that people do, that people are like, just the way they speak is so contrived.
Hey, I found you on LinkedIn and I thought, hey bro, what if we just connected? You seem like a similar, like-minded kind of guy. By the way, have you checked out my MLM company that I run? If you get into my downline, you could be a millionaire by next week. So good to connect. Pleasure making your acquaintance.
Yeah, terrible. I think the ones that jump out to me are like people that, especially when people do cold outreach, they'll talk about, you've got to personalize it and talk about where they went to school or how their last quarter was. And it's like, is it relevant? Is your email, is your offer good? Like people, even beyond the actual copy or structure of the email, is like, are you solving a problem? Are you like, are you actually emailing for a reason? And like not providing any value, where they're just like, hey, reminding you about a sale or something. It's like, give them something. I just feel like email as a mechanism, like, yeah, you want an offer, but like you can also connect to any other social proof you have, any other content, and I feel like it's such a waste when people don't, and they're just like, hey, here's another sale.
I think if you're doing cold email, and then I'd always tell people to customize it, but your customization should be relevant to what you're talking about. So if you're like, hey, I want to help you with your email strategy, you should literally be like, hey, I checked, I'm on your email list, and I saw that this one went to spam. Just wanted to let you know. Also, I help people get out of the inbox, like out of spam. Here's a screenshot of yours. I think I know what's probably going wrong. It's literally helpful, and it's relevant to what they're saying, and you're going, I actually am on your list. And then, but I always do the compliment sandwich. So, hey, I really like this thing about your business. This thing could be better. I also like this thing. So you give them a 2-to-1 of good to bad. And then you're like, if you want me to help you, let me know. Just like a real person. And then I would also say that I forgot what I was going to say, but then I'll maybe remember in a second.
I did that with the UFC fighter. I did the Ian Stanley method. Because I asked you, I was like, hey, what should I like pitch this guy or whatever? But yeah, I was on his list. Noticed he had a problem. He actually did go to spam. And I was like, hey man, you're in spam. I can help you out. Like, yeah, it works.
When you're literally, then you're coming in as a hero helping them, and you're actually helping, and not just like a generic, hey, my name's so-and-so, and I help people get out of spam. I don't know if you're having it. It's like, no, go in. If you're not willing to spend 2 to 4 minutes to personalize your email, and you're doing small service, like you only need 5 or 10 clients or 2 to 5, and you're not willing to spend 2 to 4 minutes, you don't deserve those clients. Like dude, I had a guy, one of the funniest emails I've sent to my list was, a guy sent me an email trying to be like a video editor or something, trying to take your job, dude. And he sent me with his template that he was sending everyone. He forgot to fill in the blanks. So it's like, hey, name, I saw that your page you run didn't have the videos that it should have had. I help people in the situation of the person you're sending this email to solve their video. And I sent it to my whole list. I'm like, this is the worst pitch I've ever gotten. Funny. Imagine being so lazy that you're first off, I give people templates to reach out, and I believe in them. And if you haven't got Email Game Changers yet, emailgamechangersai.com. They're the sponsor of this podcast, also owned by me. So go to emailgamechangersai.com. Use my tool. It's incredible for writing emails. But if you use that, or you use even like the templates, there's a section for an actual custom thing that's meant to be custom.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a real thing. So I'd say overall, the worst advice in general is probably the image type stuff, and then this idea that your emails can't be entertaining or funny, or that you need to follow these, like, I need to talk to them like they're a boring robot fucking, you know, LinkedIn guru type of person, and not talk, like, write like you speak. Do not write like a college professor. There's a reason why they're not rich. They write like douchebags. So there you have it.
We have it.
Worst advice.
And really quick on the image thing. So if someone, you said HTML, make it look like plain text. If you put an image in there, just make it look as if it's like a natural.
Yeah, it's like sort of, so you want like, you know, 4 to 5 lines, up to maybe 10 lines of like plain text looking, 1 to 2 sentences per line. And then it's the picture of the thing that they, and then have a normal button hyperlinked that they can click, like a blue text. And then you can have your image that has an actual clickable thing, but it should be the same width as that email. It shouldn't be your whole, like, people will send a whole image email. The whole thing is image,
Right.
which also takes crazy amounts of time and design, and nobody likes it. So plain text, and then it's like, here's the, you know, the sheets that you can wash your clothes with. Here's a picture of them. Click here to grab them now. But you have this text above it.
Yeah. I've seen those overly HTML designed emails, and it just, yeah, it looks like a big magazine ad that they just
Yeah,
throw in your inbox.
it's terrible. So, thanks for stopping by on the Almost Passive Income podcast, where today we did talk about stuff that's almost
Passive?
perhaps. Go to emailgamechangersai.com or grab my new book. Just send it on Amazon now. It's good. It's the #1 bestseller. It's not a big deal.